Welcome to Animal with a Hat, digital painting for painting class before we have art kids. This is Photopea. It's like Photoshop without having to use Citrix to get to Photoshop. You just have to go to photopea.com. It will even work on a Chromebook, which is pretty impressive. File. New. Okay, here's a little bit of digital illustration for you. Title. And this is my default. And I'm just gonna do 600 by 600, so I have a little square. Now, see this little PX? That means pixel. Pixel means when you zoom in, you have like a little impressionistic dot. If you want to change it to inches, you can. That's kind of like an 8 by 8 inch document. Okay, so you see the width and the height. Underneath that where it says DPI. DPI means dots per inch. Sometimes it says PPI. Not usually, but that means pixels per inch. And I'm going to have a white background is fine. And then hit create. Just to orient yourself what's going on. There's going to be buttons everywhere. Okay, don't worry. I'm going to tell you what 4 or 5 to click on. This bar over here is your tools bar. Think of that as a self-contained thing. Up here from file all the way to account, that's like your main word menu. Underneath your main menu is your properties menu. Those are going to change depending on what tool you're at, okay? Over here, this is your layers menu. The big thing about Photoshop or Photopea is that you're going to stack your files. That's your little trash can, right? To the left of the trash can is actually a new layer. You're going to click that, all right? Strangely enough, background layers are always locked, so I just unlocked that. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to draw an animal with a hat. This layer here is going to be my character layer, all right? And I'm going to draw a penguin. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down is my brush tool. I'm gonna maybe start drawing, and I'm totally using the trackpad because I think some of you guys are also using the trackpads, and I feel bad for you guys. I want you to switch over to the pencil tool. You're not gonna have fuzzy edges, and it's gonna make flood filling really easy, okay? This is like a little sneaky trick that I wish someone had told years ago. And I'm gonna draw out my penguin that I'm gonna give a top hat to. I have a very specific thing I'm going to teach you guys today on our kind of digital art day, because here I just made like a line drawing, and now I'm going to use the eraser tool, which is this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down, and I can kind of clean things up. Pixels mean that when I zoom in, which I'm going to do with Control+++, right? It means when I go in here, every single one of these things is like a little dot. I can use flood fill. Flood 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's defaulting to the gradient. The paint bucket's actually hidden underneath there, and it's a G. Great. This layer here, right, sits over it. Fill in my area is kind of like a coloring page. Because I use the pencil tool, I don't have fuzzy edges. Fill in the hat, a nice gray color. Once I have my flats in, I'm going to do a new layer. And this is going to be my like shadows. Now I'm going to just take black, draw in where my shadows are going to be, right? I'm going to kind of show you what's going to happen. And I'm going to show you some blending modes and opacities. Off one. Now if I take my opacity and bring it down, I instantly, right, I can set this to maybe 25%. I have shadows, and I didn't even have to try very hard. Okay, and I'm actually going to erase this and clean that up so it's prettier. Okay, you guys ready? Now I'm going to do my highlights. New layer, I'm going to do my highlights. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to do it with whites. I'm going to draw white in where I want my highlights to be. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the opacity, and I'm just gonna bring the opacity down to like 30%. Now, the difference with the whites is it's showing the blacks, and so I'm getting some grays here, here, and here. This, where it says normal, shows me my blending modes. I'm gonna set it to overlay, and it's gonna let the black pop through. And just like that, I did flat color with a shadow and a highlight with a trackpad, and I absolutely love my, because I think penguins have black eyes, and maybe I just want the shine showing. All right, and then what you can do is you can save, you actually really probably want to export out as a flattened file, which is a JPEG or PNG. Okay, and you can put that on Google Classroom. Thank you.